ones. As we begin, we invite you all to just take a few moments and really pull your energy and your awareness into this now moment experience. Softening the body, dropping the tension, and coming into the heart. And as you focus on the heart, keep looking for those little releases of tension, especially any bracing or tensing against what is around you. This is a very physical and energetic way to soften the illusion of separation that keeps you in the experience of the little me and really in the limitation, energy-wise, power-wise, consciousness-wise, that is the little me's framework, the conscious, unconscious, and primitive mind centers. When you're holding that physical tension, you're holding the illusion of separation with its sort of full potency, saying, I am one person, and everything outside of me is other than me, and may often be in opposition to me, may often be a problem for me, may often be a source of conflict and struggle and suffering for me, based on that programming of the conscious, unconscious, and primitive mind centers, including all of that early childhood conditioning and programming, all that programming that happens right there in incarnation, what we call the existence templates, all that programming that happens with your experience of your parents, how you are parented, all that programming and conditioning that continues to extend while you are so vulnerable, all of that is solidified into the identity of the limited little me. And the amount of power you have to create, generate, manifest in your reality is marked by that. And if you had a really wonderful upbringing in a very abundant and joyful experience, you may have a lot of positive conscious and unconscious programming that gives you a strong sense of self, a strong sense of self-worth, self-love, self-value, deservedness. All of that may be in someone's little me. But a lot of times, those people aren't the ones who are seeking the answers to why things are as they are, because their natural alignments tend to generate and create and manifest pretty good experience overall. But for many dear ones who have incarnated at this time to assist with the evolutionary shift of the planet, there has been more initial resistance imprinted in the identity of the little me. So there would be the motivation, the desire to unpack and deconstruct, well, what creates this reality in this challenging way, in this little me way. And at a certain point, if you are truly motivated, you begin to understand that there is a huge reservoir of power, of creative energy that can be accessed through dropping the entire identification with the little me's perception and allowing a broader consciousness, a broader intelligence to be unified with. And so this is why we say drop the tension in the body, drop the tensing and bracing against what is around you, drop the general resistance, because this is how you transcend that illusion of separation that's keeping you in a limited power construct. And instead, recognize that everything that lies outside of yourself, that is beyond the line of your skin, is all consciousness that you are a part of, and that you can harness when you operate beyond that construct of the little me. And in accessing that broader power, you can bring a better life to the little me, to your little me. You become, in a sense, the quote-unquote God for yourself, because you are connected to all consciousness. And what is the idea of God is that it is the great creator. Well, the great creator is Source itself. It just is all of the consciousness that can be utilized for creation. So dropping the sense that the other is separate brings you into that power. When you're seated in your heart, you're seated in the place where accessing that level of creative power can be a balanced experience. An experience that is generating from the truthful resonance of your heart that you're already worthy and deserving of a bountiful, joyful life. To talk about that concept of relationship and union, because the coming together with an aspect of consciousness that lies outside of the illusion of the little me, but lies outside of the identity of the little me. Whether that is another person, or whether it is all consciousness itself, can bring forward such great expansion. Especially when it is being generated and created in heart alignment. And one of the big understandings that many of you who are seeking to have a larger vibrational influence on the bigger collective reality, and this is why you would access more of the power of the all consciousness, because you attain a greater influence not only on the imprinting of your own little me, but on the broader matrix, the collective belief structures, the deep layers of biological programming that generate the limitations experienced by the little me in order to experience just an incarnation. When you are being sort of having your consciousness cracked to open up to this idea that I am not just the self I experience as the little me. I am consciousness that is beyond that, and I have power that lies beyond that. In order to come into a true state of union with the all consciousness, there is a process of needing to accept that all consciousness is all consciousness, not just what the little me's ego has said, well, this is a good part of consciousness. This must be God, because this is a good this is a good thing. This is a thing that, according to my belief structures and my value system, is right or good or holy. But realizing that it is all consciousness. You cannot attain the connection to the all consciousness without dropping the judgment and those illusions of separation that the little me holds. The polarity, the survival consciousness, everything that can turn another into an enemy, the bad guy, a foe, the nemesis, that is the oppositional character to your little me. In order to access the power to change bigger reality, you must transcend that illusion of the other. If you don't take that step, you will always remain in the limited power of the little me. And part of your journeys in this life, dear ones, to transcend the singular egoic identity illusion is that you have had to meet with other aspects of consciousness that your little me might have held in judgment as quote-unquote the bad guys or the villains, or just holding a polarity of consciousness that your little me struggles to accept. Because you cannot transcend polarity, separation, otherness, survival mind without meeting it in some form. And much of your relationship life of late has been designed to help you to see these manifestations of separation. In the illusion of the little me, there is often opposition, polarity, conflict, other characters playing that which generates the struggle and the suffering. And this may be a really strong kind of bad guy character in an important storyline for you, or it could be somebody who fluctuates between quote-unquote good guy or bad guy. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a co-worker, it could be a neighbor. That the more you stay in the polarity and the judgment, the more the storylines of opposition and struggle and survival amplify. And this is to crack the consciousness of this illusion so you can move past it. If there was a storyline with an oppositional character that for your personal growth could be shifted by you, for example, doing what you might call a typical empowerment step, holding your ground, speaking your truth, all of these things. If that was the quote-unquote lesson for you to learn, then doing that action or that personal empowerment step would be effective. If that was an aspect that your little me needed to understand, to love itself more, to be stronger within yourself, from the internal little me personal development path, that action or activity would work. Your broader consciousness wouldn't set you up with a storyline to assist your growth that couldn't be resolved when you took that growth step. So if in your relationship life you have experienced something that none of those sort of personal development steps has been effective in changing your circumstance in this storyline, it's because that storyline isn't about a personal development step. That storyline isn't about the growth that happens through regular relationship experiences. It isn't about consciousness growing through exploring storylines, little me to little me. And you may still be doing that work, growing and deepening your love for your little me self through that work. We're not saying that that's off the table. What we are saying is, if you have some kind of relationship experience or experience with the other could be an individual, it could also be an organization, it could be a social organization, it could be a political organization, it could be a business, it could be anything that you experience outside of your little me's experience. If you are in a conflict, a struggle, a challenge, and none of that is working, none of that good empowerment, personal growth stuff, stand up for yourself stuff, whatever it is working, it's because that is not what you are learning here. What you are learning is to transcend the illusion of the separation and the polarity and the survival mind that would create the other in the first place. Because you are here to go into union with this bigger, broader all consciousness through the gateway of the heart, which innately brings the harmonization of yourself with the other in the field of unconditional love, meaning that all the players in the game are worthy and deserving for an outcome that works for all consciousness. This is the power that the heart manifests from. If you are playing from the little me, you may win or lose an argument. You may win or lose an election. You may win or lose a court case. You may win or lose, because it will always play out in the polarity. But if you are creating and generating from the heart, the heart that understands that it's all consciousness, and all consciousness is worthy, the outcomes will be congruent and aligned. Everybody wins, because it is expansion itself that happens through the heart. And that feels like a win. And for the mind that doesn't know how to create reality like that, it can't handle the idea that there won't be a specific winner over a specific loser. It doesn't know how to create reality where everyone can benefit. Because the little me is programmed in those old major illusions. But the heart is always generating reality in a way that creates expansion throughout all consciousness. And all consciousness includes those oppositional figures that you have created to play polarity out with. And it can be really challenging for the mind to let go of the control of saying, because I believe I should win, the others must be the bad guys that deserve to lose. Or because I believe I deserve to prosper, there must be someone on the polarity of that struggles, so I can gain more. How can I experience myself as prospering if it isn't clear to me that I have more than someone else? So whether a storyline is directly about I must prosper at this person's expense, I must win the business deal that the other person gets the raw end of the stick, so I get the most. Or it is just the sense that I live here, I live in this neighborhood or this country, and we prosper compared to those people over there in that other experience. I know I am prosperous because they are not prosperous. The mind is always generating the stories that give it the understanding of where it is on the spectrum of the win-lose, of the success-fail, of the love-hate. But when you are seated in the heart, creating from the heart does not operate under these limitations. And so it's power to manifest and create transcends you, quote unquote, needing to feel good through the illusion of your prosperity over somebody else's lack. The heart creates fulfillment. And of course, now coming down to personal taste, one person's concept of fulfillment and a happy life can be very different from somebody else's. And the heart creates all of that imbalance. I don't have to get the pleasure from the win by observing the loss of someone else. Because the heart is creating fulfillment. Somebody winning a certain desired job isn't taking away the joy that somebody else would be having if they too got that job. Because the heart knows that everybody deserves their fulfillment in what they are doing. And we're wanting you to understand this because your relationship paradigm has been very challenging in order to help you come into union with the consciousness of other that the mind has been creating in some way as opposition or polarity. And for you to play that out for so long that you realize that it is a futile game, a futile illusion, because the mind always continues to create its major, generally suffering-based illusions. And all of this is to crack you back down into the heart and surrender. I don't know how to make win-win for everybody and in a way that everybody feels good about it. And everybody else expands as I expand, creating the possibility to just let go of all the anger and resentments and unhappinesses that have been harbored. The heart knows how to create the life for you that is so magnificent. it doesn't really matter how your life is playing out in relationship to how others' lives are playing out. Because the natural state is expansion. But we're sharing all of this with you because we want you to trust in the power of the heart to create your experience of consciousness that lies outside of you, whether that is another person, whether that is even the concept of a spirit guide, a non-physical energy, or all consciousness / God itself. That all of this consciousness is working with you and for you as you are for it, because that is the nature of expansion. But to restore the belief in the heart-centered alignment with the other, it's time to really dissolve the energy that has made relating challenging in the first place. Relating is how you've been playing out lots of different types of creative storylines, including the storylines that were generated to crack you into the power of your all consciousness. So what we want you to do right now, dear ones, is to just focus on your relationship paradigm and on the challenging aspects of your experience of the other. And again, it could be an individual, it could be an organization, it could be a non-physical energy, it could be some concept projected out into the multidimensional, collective storylines. Where there has been conflict with the other. It may be your personal storylines where you have played that conflict, struggle, etc. out with another, or where you have felt affected by perception of a conflict between others. So, for example, a child may have observed a lot of conflict between the parents and had a distorted sense of relationship from observing that. So just allow yourselves to go there now. Be aware where it feels like there's conflict, struggle, challenge with the other, suffering. of where that has played out in the past. Projecting that out into future potentialities. And you may still struggle with understanding why. Why did you create this other this way? Or why has this storyline of this other been manifest in your life? There may be a part of you that is at peace with it and understands, and there may still be aspects that are holding charge around this other storyline. So just begin to activate the Infinity 8 from your heart center, going up around through the thymus. And just imagine now harvesting all of the energy from these challenging, externalized, othery situations, and bring it all into the heart and run it through the Infinity 8. In that surrendered way, saying, really, even from where I am right now, I don't really understand why I experienced that, why I had to go through that, why I'm going through it now, why I see it coming. Instead, just harvest all of the energy that's in the projections of those challenging relationship relating to the other experiences. Bring it into the heart, running it through the Infinity 8. Everything that you feel in the polarities, opposition, conflict, struggle, you versus me, good and bad, righteous and evil. Recognizing that at this level, even if the little me doesn't quite understand that all of this projection is all consciousness. consciousness is always energy. So soften your body and don't resist the energy that is projected into these other stories. Instead, go, it's all just energy in the form of these old challenging relating and relationship paradigms. And all of this is coming from the old 3D egoic framework, which has been a huge imprint on all of you, just because A, you came into incarnation, into the illusion of separation, B, because you had parents. And you experienced your sense of self, your sense of power, sense of safety, your sense of lovability and of worth in relationship to these primary caregivers. Just pull all of that energy back into the heart. Everything that those very first other experiences began to imprint upon you, and your sense of value, worth, lovability, place in this world, belonging. And then for some of you, you may have had siblings that also had a powerful imprint, or it could be even teachers or neighbors or extended family members. Just imagine pulling all of the energy that has been generated out into storylines based on these imprints, based on these early interactions with the other. All of that is coming back. Anything that is out of alignment with the heart blueprint and the truth of who you really are. There may have been those first romantic or attraction-based relationships which are very significant. And each of these relationships also have significance in the biological programming and imprinting. States of being you experience, states of feelings with these first experiences of the other. Can significantly imprint your understanding of being a human being based on the biological magical significance of these experiences. Pull all of that energy of those state of being biological imprints in your relationship to the other into the heart, anything that is out of alignment with the heart blueprint. Frequency energy to help delete these files, these imprints, and how they're continuing to generate and create in your relationship to self and other. Characters throughout school life and jobs and creative collaborations. Some of them may still hold a lot of charge as they're holding a volume of energy that speaks to archetypal relationship dynamics or archetypal themes and storylines. Just pull it all into your heart, regardless of how you feel about these things, these people, these organizations now. Just recognize that it's just all consciousness that you're harvesting from this old relationship paradigm to give to the heart to create a new with. vibration of this energy, you are reclaiming your power, your energy has been invested in these illusions of the other. show me, how do I be in higher relationship with myself, and what is beyond me? How do I come into union with myself, and what is beyond my little me? So it's all working with me and for me as I am for everything. of you that is all aspects of all these others. Very good indeed. We adore you all so very much until we're meeting this way or some other way. We love you very much, and for now we'll say goodbye, dear one. Goodbye.